We often think of domestic conflicts as just arguments or normal relationship stuff. Arguments between a man, a woman, parents, children. But what if I told you that nearly 10 million people in the US experience domestic violence each year? 10 million people. More than 60 million women and over 50 million men report psychological aggression from intimate partners. Intimate partners, oh, not neighbors, not colleagues, not church members or mosque members. Isn't that outrageous? What do you think about these figures? Please leave a comment below. I'll be eager to know what you feel because this number to me is really, really high. These aren't just numbers. They are real lives, real homes, and real emotional trauma. Today we are unpacking how domestic conflict affects emotional health, how it can damage emotional health, and why this matters to you, to your partners, and to your children. I am Dr. Antonia, and this is Mindful Peace. I am a doctor of nursing practice with specialty in psychiatry and mental health, and an expert in peace and conflict resolution. So today we are going to talk about domestic conflicts. Let's be clear, conflict isn't always physical. When we hear conflict, we think it's something that has to do with the physical, like hitting, punching, throwing things at someone. But most of the time, when we hear domestic violence, our mind goes to physical violence. I guess this is what you thought as well. But conflict includes emotional abuse, and example is constant criticism, when you constantly pull down your partner, saying bad things to make them lose their self-confidence. There's also gaslighting, and this is when a person makes the other person question their sanity and memory or perception of reality. Then there's also control and threats. This can come from each of the partners or one partner against the other. Then you have silent treatment, when you go weeks, days, months without even communicating with one partner, and vice versa. 85% of survivors report psychological abuse. 70% of survivors experience emotional abuse, even without physical violence at all. That means most abuse leaves no physical bruises, but the emotional damage can run really, really deep, that it can affect a lot of things. So how does this conflict affect the brain? Chronic conflict keeps the nervous system in a survival mode, and this can trigger prolonged stress responses. So that's when anxiety will step in, depression will come in, sleep disturbance will start, emotional numbness will start, and yes, the startling part. Emotional abuse increases the risk of depression by up to 200%. Can you imagine? 200%. Children emotionally abused have a 50% greater risk of attempting suicide. This isn't just hurt feelings, it's measurable mental health risk. It's a big risk. What happens to children that are exposed to this conflict? Domestic conflict doesn't stay between adults only. Children absorb it. Remember that saying that when two elephants are fighting, who suffers most is the grass. Statistics snapshot shows that 90% of children exposed to domestic violence experience emotional abuse. Children in high conflict homes are 2 times more likely to develop psychological problems than their peers. Yes, that's true. You see it everywhere around us today. Up to 60% of children exposed to violence show PTSD symptoms. Their brains are developing. Their sense of safety is just forming. And so when they are exposed to this conflict, it rewires their brain, just like sets it off. Domestic conflict often stems not from the present argument. It comes from past trauma. So 30 to 60% of women with chronic mental illness have experienced domestic violence one time in their lives. Women with depression are 2.5 times more likely to be abused. For women with PTSD, that risk jumps to about 7 times more likely. This shows how deep the emotional effects can go and how unresolved trauma fuels ongoing conflicts. Healing and healthier homes. We can turn these numbers around. Yes, we can bring it down, the figures. And here are practical steps that we can pause before reacting. This protects both you and your partner's nervous system. Replace blame with curiosity. Instead of saying, why do you always? You can say, help me understand what you are feeling. Seek support. Talk to a therapist. This doesn't mean you are weak. It's a step towards breaking harmful patterns. And if you or someone you know is in danger, contact local crisis services immediately. Please refer to my previous video about this local crisis safety lines. You have a role to play in breaking the circle. And here's the truth. Domestic conflict isn't always intentional, but the emotional harm is real. It's not a joke, it is real. Statistics show that emotional abuse affects more people than physical violence. Emotional pain increases risk for long-term mental health struggles, even more than physical abuse. This means understanding conflict and healing emotional wounds isn't just helpful, it is very important. Please pause for a moment and think about this. Does your home feel emotionally safe? Just answer. Does your home feel emotionally safe? Please comment below with one word that describes peace in your home. Just one word. We'll read your responses in the next video. Domestic conflict impacts emotional health. That part is real. But remember, hope is also real. So by choosing awareness, choosing empathy and healing, you can break the circle in your home and future generations. So charity begins at home. So try and bring this teachings to your home. Practice it. And remember, emotional health isn't a luxury, it is a foundation. If you loved this video or if you think this video will help somebody else, please share it, like, and leave a comment. Till next time, please stay mindful, stay peaceful, and stay tuned for more interesting videos.